Okay, so we're going to look at today installing an under-seat storage compartment in the Honda Pioneer 1000 3-seater. So this is what it looks like from the factory. You have the seat, you got this side, and actually there's a hollow area underneath the side. So if we pick the seat up and move it out of the way, you can see this hollow area, and that's what companies sell under-seat storage. So you can take this panel off, and when you remove it, you've got all that space. So what you can do is, in that space, you can put an under-seat storage compartment. It comes in two parts. This part, you set in just like that, and then you set the top on just like this. And then you hook it in. It's real easy to install. And then that takes up all the space down here and gives you storage area. So here's the thing people debate about online. If you notice this big heat sink right here, and there's some more electronics right here. So we're gonna, what we're interested in seeing is, did the electronics package get too hot? Because with this open area, the electronics have room to breathe, and the heat sink has some area where airflow can go through and cool it off. But when you put this in, you're effectively cutting off some of that airflow. So we're gonna look at it for a few days after we drive it and see if the electronics get too hot and do we need to pull this back out. So, and if we do, we'll do another video on that. So here we go. Okay, we're going to put a link in the description to the under-seat storage that you can buy, and this was bought on Amazon. And I want to show you something. There's one screw in the bottom of this that goes into the screw hole in the Pioneer. There's also a drain in it. So if you pull this piece of plastic out, there's actually a drain hole in this. So if you get water in it, it can drain back out. So let's get started. Okay, so if you're going to install this, here's something to think about. The Honda screws are a hex screw, 3/16. The screw that came with the under-seat storage looks like this. And that's also a hex screw, and it's 5/32. So to get started, you have to take all the screws out, and you can see the screw holes. Okay, so this under-seat storage, I want to point out that there were no instructions with it, so you're pretty much on your own, but it's not really tough to figure out. You have these connectors, and these are pretty easy to install. They go together just like that. So you poke this piece through the chassis, and then you put this piece through there, and what it does is it forces that to expand, so it's snug. Now this also came with these pieces of rubber. One side of the rubber has some adhesive on it. So what we're assuming is that the rubber goes on like this to pad the bottom of it, so this thing won't be shaking around. And the adhesive tape just sticks onto the bottom of the Pioneer, and this sits on there. All right, so first you put your supports on there. Call them supports, bumpers, I don't know what you call them. And there's 7 of those.
In, line up your screw hole, just like that. You see, there is no, when your screw hole is lined up, there is no gap right there, so it's pretty tight against that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this in.
Okay, so this is in, and it's pretty stable. I want to point out there's no side doors on this. The only access you have is from the top. So the next thing you do is you put this insert in, And notice when it's sitting flat on your bar that your holes line up just perfect. So it's perfectly designed for this, for the Honda Pioneer 1000 3-seater. Okay, so it's all installed. You have all these anchors you got to put in. There's about, looks like about 7 or 8 of them. Put the screw in the bottom, and it's in there nice and tight. Now what we got to do is put that panel back on, so let's do that. Okay, so we put the panel back on, got to put the screws back in. That ought to be it.
There is one nut or bolt that fits right here. And it is a 10mm.
All right, we're gonna finish this up and be right back. Okay, so the underseat storage is in. It's not completely waterproof, but water would have to come up this high to get into it. So you could stick some, if you wanted to, some ice and some drinks down in there. Keep whatever else you need. So let's make another point here. You no longer need this piece. This was originally underneath the seat, and it's not needed now because it would cover your storage. So what you do is just put your seat back on and you're ready to go. Okay, so everything's finished. We just got to put the seat in now. There you go. Underseat storage is finished. If you know what you're doing, it takes about 15-20 minutes to put in. No problem. Okay, I want to show you something else. We also put a bed liner in here. This is not a Honda bed liner. It's not even one of the aftermarket bed liners. You go and buy a large rubber floor mat at Tractor Supply. How much was this?
This is $44. It's made for horse stalls.
44 bucks. And yep, made in the USA. And you just cut it to fit. It does a great job of protecting your bed of your Pioneer. And it's real easy to cut. What did you cut this with?
Jigsaw.
Cut it with a jigsaw. Okay, you can get this spray coating here, put on your Pioneer. So wash it down, spray it really good. You see how it's nice and shiny. It's already been sprayed down, and it says it prevents buildup of mud and rubber, protects against the elements. It's also somewhat scratch protective, so if you hit a limb or something, instead of it grinding down against the side of the body panel, it'll slide right off. So this spray makes it look really nice. Good protective spray. And it's not supposed to loosen your decal, so your decals are not supposed to come off with a spray.